episode of OSRS ASMR. In this episode, I had a few technical issues, so I've recorded the entire thing as a voiceover. That you may notice that there's no music or sound due to this, so I do apologise. It was a technical glitch, but hopefully not something that we'll have again in the future. So today we're going to be looking at the Restless Ghost and Rune mysteries quest. Okay, so part of the issue I had is that I had to start the Rune mysteries quest, or the stream, or the recording halfway through the quest due to some of the issues I was having. Again, a bit of an apology there, but because of that we've already received the Ghost Speak amulet, which is an amulet which allows us to speak to ghosts. And the basis of this quest, the Restless Ghost, is that we have this ghost here who unfortunately seems to be a little restless and is causing some nuisance around the graveyard, and the priest has asked us to help him exorcise the ghost. By the look of the conversation here, the issue that we're having so far is that unfortunately he's missing his head. As I'm sure you can see in the casket, his body is there, but his skull seems to be missing. So we've been tasked with the task of retrieving the skull, and that's pretty much what this quest is going to be. What the ghost mentioned was that a warlock took the skull and has taken it back to his tower, which we know is the Wizard's Tower in the south, so we'll start walking in that direction now. Another thing to mention, I know that from the previous episode I did say we would open up the pirate's treasure casket. That is still yet to be opened, despite the issues I had with this episode, so we will still get round to that, but I suspect I'll do it at the beginning of the next episode, and this has prompted me to remember. The house we've got here on the left, it belongs to the priest who gave us the Ghost Speak amulet. He's living life as a hermit, which I found quite touching, because he mentioned that he hasn't had any human contact in 5 months previous to us knocking on his door and asking for help with this ghost, which is incredible when you think about the year that we've all lived through in 2020, a year where for many of us, or for mostly all of us, we've had to bring social contact to others to an absolute minimum, and a lot of this without it necessarily being voluntary. I mean, unfortunately lockdowns have meant that we have had to limit our social contact with others, and I know just purely based on my own experience that just doing that for a month or so has been difficult, in some cases 2 months, but 5 months is incredible. And I know this is just a game, but there are people around the world that do this sort of thing, largely in pursuit of religious or faith reasons, but it happens nonetheless. Anyway, we're now back in the Wizard's Tower on the ground floor, and what you'll find is that we have a skull on the altar in a room just there in the distance. The skull which belongs to the ghost. We're here to help. So exercise, this ghost. It's incredible just watching all these people walk to and from the Wizard's Tower. I tell you, something else that is quite a nice change of pace, certainly for someone that's always grown up wanting to and having played the members version of the game, is how refreshing it is to play on a free-to-play world and experience the number of players there are per square foot, if you like. I mean, don't get me wrong, the members world is the be-all and end-all. It's the holy grail. Is what you want to strive to become. It's where the best rewards are. But a lot of the time, it can seem very empty and barren. There are the same numbers of players in a lot of those worlds, and in many cases even more. But the fact that there's so much more space means that there is so few players per city and per square foot of the game. Whereas in these free-to-play worlds, it's great just walking around these very normal places. Walking through the woods, walking along the bridge to the Wizard's Tower, and seeing the number of other players going around their day. I mean, let's not forget this is an MMORPG, which is part of the name being massive multiplayer, and that is definitely one of the draws for myself. So it is refreshing to seeing all these people, because once you play on the members worlds, it's never quite the same. Anyway, enough of my rant. We're back in the graveyard with skull in hand. So let's place it in here. It looks like we're going to get a cutscene. You're welcome. And into the Ritherlum he goes. Oh, we got a good amount of prayer EXP there, very handy. Excellent stuff, very good. Up to level 10, perfect, very good stuff. Prayer's a very handy skill. Okay, lovely. I think really we're looking good at the moment. We want to try and get up to the protect from prayers, which we'll ideally get to at some point. Perhaps I'll fight some giants for their bones or something along that basis, but that's something we'll look at in the future, certainly. But for now, a good start. Right, so now we have a second quest we're going to be taking on today. That quest is the Rune Mysteries quest, and to start it we need to speak to the Duke of Lumbridge. So let's walk back over that way. I was hoping that we would see a few imps in our episodes, but unfortunately we haven't really come across any. I've come across one or two outside of recording, but even so, no beads to speak of. But annoyingly, I would have quite liked to have seen 2 or 3 that we could quickly dispatch and loot their bodies for potential beads. But we'll continue looking. Right, so let's go and speak to the Duke. There he is, Duke Horatio, I believe it is. Okay, so we're looking for a quest. Yep. Yes, we'd like to take on the Rune Mysteries quest. So essentially, he has found a strange talisman, which we need to take again to the Wizard's Tower, to a wizard, a head wizard familiar walk back over, or in this case we're going to be running. I was doing the same thing a couple of days ago, cutting wood, burning the logs. Such simple menial tasks, but when you first start this game, it's the little things you have to do to get yourself to a suitable level. Eventually we'll be able to take on games such as the Winter Tods to get our fire making up, but for now, lines of fire I'll have to do. Right, so here we have the wizard Serador, who is the head wizard of the Wizard's Tower. So we're going to be showing him the air talisman that we picked up, which is the item in the top left hand corner of our inventory. And he's going to ask us to take some of his notes to a chap called Aubrey, who is the owner of the Rune shop in Farrock, while he studies the air talisman. So again, we're going to do a bit of running in this quest. Farrock's a little bit further afield though, so I'll cut the video on the way there, but I think we may have to cut it in a couple of places that we'll be running back as well, but I'll still try and get in some little bits here and there, if there's anything of note. I think something that would be quite interesting is, and particularly thinking about the fact that we're going to a Rune shop, and here we are in Farrock now, is perhaps the potential for us to look at training our magic up very soon, so we can start using teleports. I mean, when you first start playing RuneScape, particularly if you re-roll with a new character, there's a certain beauty, I suppose, about just walking wherever you need to go, as it's the only means of travel you can take for in a lot of cases if you don't have any money or experience. But you're okay with that, you get on with it, it's part of the early game. But as the game starts to progress, it becomes something that, really speaking, becomes a bit of a nuisance. It's okay at the moment, it's not too bad, but it is one of those things where very soon I think we're going to need to find a quicker mode of transport. Anyway, this is Aubrey in the Rune shop, who we're now speaking to. And he mentions that he too has some studying he's been doing on the subject. I also quite like the sign, the shop sign that he has there. I mean, you can tell without looking at it that this shop is to do with something magical. It's a lovely animation. Okay, so he mentions that we need to go back now to Serador. Surprise, surprise. And I believe give him some of the notes that he has prepared on the subject so they can come to a conclusion. I think first we're going to fight this mugger who seems to have it out for us. Unfortunately, a trend of our combat at the moment is that it has been slow and sluggish, something that I will be looking to improve before the next video. Perhaps get some new armour and weapons as well, but for now, for our level 6 mugger here, I think what we have is more than enough. And there we go. And we have 15 coins and some bones for our efforts. sure what I was doing. I think I may have been talking. Yeah, we just missed him. What a shame. We will at some point get a random event. I'm very keen for us to do one, but unfortunately not on this occasion. Right, so we're at the end of the quest, and we've got Aubrey's notes to give to Serador. Now I know that I'm skipping through a lot of the text here, but the general idea is that Serador has discovered that there is a world where you can mine the essence of which creates runes in the world of RuneScape, which are the tablets you use to create magic. And with these essences, you can use the talismans, much like the air talisman we showed him earlier, to access altars which are found all around the world. And when these altars are accessed, a person such as yourself can walk in and create more runes of that element. So this one's air, you've got fire, water, earth, as well as the other more complex runes, cosmic, blood, law, nature. So that's now what he has quested us to do going forwards. We'll be tasked with finding other talismans and discovering where the altars are, so we may create more runes. I always find it quite funny how we've just discovered this again now, but where did all the runes that are currently in the world come from? In that case, it's plot holes. But anyway, that's generally the quest, and that's how it ends. We've completed this quest. We get a couple of quest points, or one or two, and we get our talisman back. So for our next video, I hope you enjoyed that, guys, but for our next video I'm going to try and get us doing some of the newer quests, sort of Mythalin Mysteries, X Marks the Spot, and Corsair Curse. They're all quests I haven't done before, so I think they might be quite exciting and quite fun to do. So that's definitely something we'll pick up on in another episode. So yeah, that's something to look forward to, certainly. For now, I hope you've enjoyed the two quests